Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. And now to honor America, please join in the singing of our national anthem. Representing the three-time Stanley Cup champion New Jersey Devils, Arlette.
I feel like I'm at a game. Oh my gosh. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
You like my fake smile?
Yeah.
You're fine. You're good. That's a
I just
great
got back from vacation.
Happy Devils Sunday. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast, season 4, episode 33, titled 60 Days Until Devils Opening Night. That's what it's supposed to say, but damn Microsoft doesn't work. Streaming live on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. The season's approaching us, folks. Guys,
Warp
take
speed.
it away.
Warp speed. Warp speed. Take it away, you bastards. Just take the microphones and go. Hey, I've been away for a couple weeks. Did anything happen? Did Devils do anything? I don't even know, man. I've been living under a rock.
Well,
It's exciting, man.
There's been some stuff. I'm like all into this. I've been looking up what happened 60 years ago because we're doing 60 days till Devils opening night. Do you know what the last number one song of 1961 was? It's very, very famous, and I will tell you, you've definitely sung it at some point in your life, and the name of the song has a very royal animal in it. A very royal animal.
Oh, God.
Everyone can play at home, too, on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter.
I don't know. It's in the
Come
jungle,
on.
the mighty jungle. I don't know.
Yes, that's it. When the lion sleeps tonight. Yes, that is it.
No way.
December 18th, 1961. The token's right here. The lion sleeps tonight, man. That's it. Woo!
That's
I'd
pretty.
like to add-
Yeah, pull there right out.
I like to add that 1961 gas of regular was 25 cents a gallon.
27
25.
it says. It says 27 here on this little app in front on my phone. Okay, I'm just going by that. That's all.
Yeah, and let's
If
just say
Sam Wu tells me 25, I believe 25.
you could for $5 you could really do some damage back then. You know, fill me up and get a Coke. Maybe bring your your date over to the movies and see a movie, and then you have like $4 left over. So
Mothra debuted. I'm learning all these facts because we're 60 days away here. Wow.
Wait,
Mick
what was
Jagger and Keith
the
Richards
answer?
Met.
The answer to, you said who won the Stanley Cup in 1961? I want to say that was the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Ooh, no, I'm sorry. It's a team that just actually, I'll give you a hint. Everyone at home as well. When we were waiting to get back on here, we were looking up things that happened 60 years ago. So who won the Stanley Cup in 1961? Beer Baron here, he got the World Series one. That was pretty easy. That was a softball toss for you, being a Yankees fan and all. So who won the Stanley Cup? Your hint is it's a team that has recently had its own dynasty again within the past 15 or so years. In the 2000s. I'll say that.
I can tell you the answer then.
Go.
Based off what you said, it's the Detroit Red Wings.
Ooh, very close. Very close. The Chicago Blackhawks of Chicago.
Ah, man. All right.
The Hawks.
The Hawks. And to answer the other questions, the NFL championship of 1961. I guess the Cleveland Browns, and I was wrong because maybe the Browns won it in 1960. It was close. They won it around that time, Packers. Something like that. But the Green Bay Packers. Now the Packers won the championship, and then they won the Super Bowl I against the Kansas City Chiefs. And then they won Super Bowl number 2, I believe, right after that. So those are the Vince Lombardi days, the old New Jersey native Vince Lombardi. So I know there's a bunch of things that we need to talk about. I've been away for a couple of weeks. Yeah, of course. I've been away for a couple of weeks, just like hanging out, not doing really much of anything. Visiting the beautiful Jersey Shore and seeing family and stuff like that, which is kind of nice for the first time.
In the beach, sunshine.
It was great. I got a nice tan and bronzed Adonis over here.
Yeah.
But I know Sam did a whole Woo report talking about the Devils schedule and looking forward and all that kind of stuff. But I thought it'd be fun for me and you to kind of go through it and look at some schedule highlights, if you will. When are we going to see our over the river rivals for the first time? When are we going to be seeing? We're going to be seeing the Kraken pretty early in the season, actually, the second game of the year. But let's start it off October 15th, which I know I will be there. I know you'll probably be in LA. I will be there at the Prudential Center to watch the Devils take on the Chicago Blackhawks for the first game of the inaugural 2021-22 season. After that,
we'll have to wait a couple days. Right?
We'll have to wait 4 days.
We have to start. Is it 4 days? We after the actual season starts, where we have our first game.
So it's after the actual season starts. I think it starts like the 9th or something like that, and then we have to wait
something like that.
A couple days, something like that.
3 or 4 days before we have our actual first game.
So we have. Well, yeah, exactly.
I would say if you're a Devils fan, try to put Tuesday and Thursday on the calendar as Devils night, because there's a lot of games on. I think I added it up. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is 52 games. Thursday,
insane.
Saturday is 52 games. Yeah,
that is crazy.
And then it's and there's some on Friday too, with home and homes and stuff like that, back to backs. So, but yeah, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
And speaking of Tuesday, that first Tuesday in October, or not the first Tuesday in October, but October 19th, they're going to be taking on the Kraken at home. So the Devils start the season with a 6-game homestand. And I that bodes well for this team. I think that's going to be. I think that's a good way to kick off this new season. There's a lot of new pieces to this team. So being that they don't have to travel all over the place, being that they don't have to go, to the West Coast, which they do go to the West Coast really early in the season. In fact, November 2nd, they go to Anaheim, and they do that California swing the 2nd, 5th, and 6th of November, which is really early. Usually, like it's later.
I think they come back later in the season too. I think April. Yeah, here it is, April 16th. Last road game is in Vegas. So I don't know. I think we need to make a Let's Go Devils podcast road trip. You guys need to come out to Vegas.
Oh my God!
If all is well, on April the 16th, I'll drive up from LA,
dude,
and we'll meet there in Vegas. And we'll
April 18th. 18th.
Is it 18th? All right, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm bad. I'm bad with the numbers. I'm bad with the math numbers.
The last game of the year is a home game. That's April 29th against the Detroit Red Wings.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a couple things about the schedule that I wanted to point out. Number one, you already pointed out, is how heavy the Tuesday and Thursday games are. We don't see the Rangers. We don't see the Rangers until November 14th.
And then not again until the end of the season, which is nice. March, we play them in 2 games in March, 1 in the beginning of April. It's going to be crunch
March 4th on my daughter's birthday. Yeah, that's crazy. Cool. That's crazy. Yeah, it's so spread out.
It's back to the 4 games. So we only play the Flyers 3 times, and we're done with Philadelphia by December.
Wow.
So last game against the Flyers is in December, which is crazy,
I don't know how anybody else feels about this, but looking at the schedule and especially looking at the end of the year. So let's say the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the last 10 games, okay? It goes at Avalanche, at Seattle, at the Vegas Golden Knights. So that's our other West Coast swing, because then you have that's a hell of a swing too. You go Dallas, Arizona, Avalanche, Seattle, Vegas. That's a 5-game away, or no, 6 games. 6 games away.
Is that 6? I think that's the maximum. I think that's the max.
That's crazy.
I thought 5 was their maximum road trip, but I could be wrong. But I know the NHL purposely spaced stuff out like that so they wouldn't be away too long.
I don't know. They're away 7 actually, because they go to the Senators, then to the Stars, then to the Coyotes, then to the Avalanche, then to the Kraken, then to the Golden Knights. So that's 7 games in a row that they're away. But so regardless, I don't know. So that's like that road trip sucks in itself. But then you go from the Golden Knights to the Sabres to the Hurricanes to the Red Wings to the Senators to the Hurricanes to the Red Wings again.
Wait, the Golden Knights to the Sabres?
So you're going from Vegas to home, and then you're home for 3 games, and then you go away to the Senators, away to the Hurricanes, and then you finish the season at home to the Red Wings. But my point to this is, you have let's see, we play the Rangers April 5th, and then there's 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to do it. I have like 15 games after that we don't play a real rival for the rest of the stretch. You play the Islanders and the Rangers back to back on April 3rd and April 5th. But then after that, that's done. Then after that, the rest of April, all the way up to April 29th, which seems really late to me. All the way up to April 29th, there's no more rivalry games. I mean, you're playing the Hurricanes. That's going to be who knows what they're going to look like this year, because they, kind of their roster went to hell in a handbasket. Thanks.
I heard that Dougie Hamilton's on a different team now. What happened?
Hey,
I don't know.
Wear a different sweater.
I hear he's somewhere else now. Oh, yeah.
But you have these long stretches of this. You over there, Doug. So at the end of the year, you have these long stretches. Now, it would have been nice to have a Rangers or a Flyers, or even to a lesser extent, the Islanders or even a Pittsburgh game thrown in the end of the season, so that you have that natural rivalry game towards the end of the year. Now, I hated when there's been years where they, bookended it. So you'd have the beginning of the year, there'd be a lot of rivalry games. And at the end of the year, there'd be a ton of those rivalry games. And it's like good and bad, but they need to sprinkle that in towards the back end of your schedule somehow. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, especially if your teams are starting to, vie for playoff position, getting into your heavy conference games towards the end of that schedule is always fun to watch. But whatever.
Listen, I'm all about it. I don't particularly. I'm not a fan of the schedule the way it is now. I really feel like they should just rotate who they play in the
like the
Western
NFL.
Conference. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Like
And
this year, you get the
eventually
Central.
Yeah. And even if you want to, that's just how I would do it, or split the other division in half or something like that, I don't know. And to me, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. I was 100% okay with that. I don't need to see every team here, every team there, every single season. I know that's what they want to do and spread the game around and make sure the stars get to play in every arena and everything like that. But me personally, I find it's more special when it doesn't happen every single year. Like, I'm a big proponent as well as in baseball. Like, I know when the Mets and Yankees play, and when the out here the Dodgers and the Angels play, I get it, but it happens every year. It's kind of just like, meh. If it did happen like every 3 years, it would have so much more hype around it if it happened like every 3 years, because it would seem more like an event, to me, at least. That's just me. I'm a nerd. I don't know.
That's, and that kind of goes back to the whole outdoor games thing. I agree 100% with you that the schedule should be balanced, where you're going to see the West Division this year and you'll see half of the Central Division this year or something like that, where it's split. And the way the NHL works is you don't even need to have it like every 3 or 4 years, because there's so many games. You could be like, okay, well, we're going to have Central South this year, or whatever the hell it's called, the Atlantic, the Central and the Atlantic, and the Metropolitan.
I don't even know are the divisions back to is it 4 divisions again, or what are we at this point now? I'm not
it is
sure.
4. It's 4 equally balanced divisions. Yeah, because they who the hell did they move? They moved Arizona. I think they moved the Coyotes to Central. Okay. I think. And
one year we play all the Eastern Conference, yes, and then that home and home, for whatever division, 1 year, give it to the interdivision, add 2 games to every interdivision. Now we play the Rangers 6 times. Now we play the Flyers 5 times. Those games would be so much more meaningful by the end of the year, and that rivalry will be so much more heated by the end of the year after playing these teams. Like, these games would be huge because they're like 3-point games when you're playing them, especially at the end of the season. I'm all about it, but I understand the NHL side. They're trying to make money. It could, maybe with ESPN, this is something they can negotiate. Maybe this is with the NBC deal that they have to have, the Connor McDavid playing the Rangers every year for TV money or something like that. You got me. I'm not in those meetings, but
dude, and I get that too. Like you said, I understand the appeal of wanting to have Connor McDavid visit every single NHL city. You want Sidney Crosby to do every city, Ovechkin. And also you have to keep in mind the NHL is different than the NBA in the sense of, in the NBA, you get a lot of off time, like a lot of dudes that are like, nah, I don't feel like playing tonight. I'm going to take like a maintenance day or something like that. That doesn't happen in the NHL. Hockey players don't take a day off. So if you go to a Penguins-Devils game, you're going to see Sidney Crosby. If you go to, unless he's hurt, if you go to it's
maybe
true.
That was or he took a dive, or something. Or he
took a dive, or he's crying.
Crosby,
he's got a hangnail in his glove and doesn't want to play.
Let's say Ovechkin instead.
Ovechkin, or like Patty Kane. Like, you go to a Devils Blackhawks game, you're going to see Patrick Kane. And I mean, and that's what I love about it. There's a guarantee that if you see another team, especially if you're a fan of a team and you live in a city, like if I moved from New Jersey to, like, my brother, for example, my brother lives in Seattle, and now, he used to go to
someone,
or you, or you. But I mean, so then you could speak to this. So to you, it's a double-edged sword, because it would make more sense as a fan. You want to see the heavy rivalry games. You want to see the division kind of build that the animosity within itself, and then that way at the end of the year of those games will have more gravitas to it. But you are also a transplant in LA, and you could personally speak to this, that you only get to see the Devils live if you go to the Kings, or if you travel down to the Sharks, or so how many games do you actually get to see? Like 4, 3, down, up, I don't know, whatever, man.
Yeah, San Jose's up. Yeah, probably, likely 2, but this year I'm going to try and get 3. Definitely, LA and Anaheim out here, but I'm going to try and definitely do the Vegas one. I would have to, I did drive up to San Jose, but equate it to like from New Jersey, it'd be like driving to North Carolina. It takes like,
oh my God.
Yeah. That's San Francisco. San Jose is maybe like an hour below. So, it's far. It's really far. So, so basically like 3 really close. Anaheim is not far from me. So, but I go all the time. Anaheim's nice because it's cheap, but Staples Center is real nice, but it's also expensive.
See, it's on my bucket list of things to do is to make it out to you and hang out and go to a Devils Kings game. But but yeah, I mean, so if you think about it, if they did go to that schedule, then you'd have to be like, all right, well, now I got to, and that's how it used to be too. I think it was like
Good.
No, I think it was was it pre-lockout, 2012 lockout that they changed it? Mm-hmm. Or is it post-2012 lockout? I can't remember, but it's around. Yeah.
Somewhere around there. But to me, then, like, when the Devils do come around, if they only came around every other year, you better believe I'm going to make sure I have tickets for that when they do come around.
True.
I don't know. It just turns it into more of a kind of a special thing instead of just like I'll just go next year when they're back around. No big deal. It's like, if I'm not going now, I got to wait till 2 years. Like, I'd rather go. Like, I don't want to miss out. I'm going to either LA or Anaheim. I don't care. Like, I'm going to one of them. Like, it makes it. But then again, like I said, I'm a nerd. That's just me. Other people may want that sort of opportunity at all times. So it puts, you and I can sit here and complain about the schedule makers, but it puts them in a very awkward position. Like.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But it would also make the All-Star game a lot better to watch. That's the other thing too, is a lot of people like talk about the All-Star game and they complain about it. Oh, it's not as good as it used to be or whatever. The whole purpose of the All-Star game used to be like it's not like how it is now, obviously. Like unless you're a moron, you don't realize that back in the day, if you were a Yankee fan or a Met fan living in this area, and you could watch them on TV. But if you were like, a Twins fan or something like that, something weird, you wouldn't really be able to watch their games. So the only way to really watch some of these big stars that were not in your market was the All-Star game. That was your opportunity to finally be like, oh my God, that's Reggie Jackson, or like, oh my God, this is, Mario Lemieux, and I'm from, whatever. Yep. Iowa or something like that. So I mean, like, giving the All-Star game some more meaning would be great. Although this year is an Olympic year, and I feel, if I'm not mistaken, the NHL is back in the Olympics this year.
Are they?
Am I wrong about that? I don't remember. I can't remember that.
I have no idea. I gotta see where they settled on that. But just following up on that, also. When they had the schedule that way, to me, it was exciting when 2 teams met in the Stanley Cup final that hadn't played before in the regular season. It's
you don't know how they are.
What to expect? How are they going to match up? Like, they've never played against each other before in the regular season.
The West used to be such a mystery. A mystery. It
was so high. Yeah, it was so high-powered and fast offense, and the East was so, grinded out and so much checking and defensive play, I don't know. I liked that. I kind of liked that. And like I said, to me, it makes it a little bit more special.
Yeah. And I agree. Like you said before, you could see it from both ways. So looking at the schedule it makes sense on both ends, but I mean, like I'm kind of a purist, like you are. Like baseball, I lost a lot of interest in baseball once. Like the first time they had a Subway Series, you're like, oh my god, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Then after a while, it's like, oh, all right. Oh, they're playing the Mets. All right.
Yeah.
But the same thing with like the outdoor game. In the beginning, it was like, man, this is like the coolest idea ever. Oh my god, they're gonna play where? Outside of who? What? No, what? And now it's like, so the Blackhawks and the Who are gonna play, or Boston and the Rangers are gonna get another one. Like the Flyers keep getting in there somehow. So I mean, like it loses its appeal because it's like you're given the same plate over and over. I don't care how good the steak is. If you eat the same exact thing every single time you go to dinner, after a while you're like, dude, this sucks. Like I don't think I want this anymore. So hopefully this is another thing too with the ESPN deal. I would imagine the first year is going to be like pretty straightforward. You know, let's go through the whole season. Let's go through everything. I don't even know if they have an outdoor game scheduled. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's the Blues or something like that. Or the Blues are playing or something.
I don't know, but I will say I liked the NHL outdoor game more than the Field of Dreams game.
I don't know.
I thought it
that
looked
was
nice,
pretty
but
wild.
at the same time, I was
cool.
like, this
It's
just
just
looks
baseball.
like a minor league stadium. It looks like a spring training game, though. I'm like, why do I want to watch a spring training game? The Tahoe thing looked nice with the lake in the background. I'm like,
yeah,
all right, corn.
See,
cool.
That's cool.
Right.
That's cool. Even if you can't have fans at it, that's cool.
See,
like to do something like that,
thing.
that's wild.
Yeah. And I didn't get why the aliens came and drew in the corn stalks for all the Major League Baseball signs and stuff like that. I didn't get that. Why did the aliens come? Someone call M. Night Shyamalan.
They're into. I met that dude one time. He's a really nice guy.
I'm sure.
That's a crazy story, but anyways. So
one quick thing too. I will say one nice thing about the schedule. If you look at it with the Olympic break, it's actually kind of like spread out very nice. Like every month is essentially 15 games or 14 games or something.
So not
like
clumped.
That, yeah. It gets the Devils on like like an every other day. I mean, they're going to have back-to-backs and stuff like that, and a little bit of travel there. But it's like 14 games. Whatever. Yeah, it's 14. November's 14. December's 14. Oh, April is the 15. Everything else except for October and February. October, obviously, the first, when the season kicks off, and February break. Everything else is like 14, 15, which is nice.
Which is great because isn't it like there's been a couple years where they were like, there's 7 games in November, and then February came and they're like, there's 58 games in November, and everything is just like crunched in, and they try to jam everything in. I also feel like they're ending a lot later. Is it me, or does it like they normally end around like the middle of April, not the end of April?
Well, I don't know why the Olympic break and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're gonna give them a lot of time, and also you got to remember, where's the Olympics at?
In China, in Beijing, I believe.
Okay, you're gonna have to have like a 14-day quarantine period when they come back. They do go over. So you got to factor that sort of stuff, and they got to leave 14 days beforehand as well to get over.
It's crazy. And that's the thing too is, I don't really like to talk about, what's going on in the world with all the craziness of COVID and all that kind of stuff. But it's getting to that point where like, come on now. Like I thought we were getting past all this and now we're getting deep into it again. That's all I want to say about it because I don't really want to get into people start like jumping and yelling about stuff. But
all right, John Fogerty, Bob Dylan.
Just take the high road, bro.
Creedence gonna come on.
Yeah, exactly. A little CCR in the background. So, but that's the other thing that you have to keep into account too, because I heard a rumor that the NHL was going to do what the NFL basically said, like if you're unvaccinated, you're going to get fined heavily for that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to the season. Hopefully, nothing nothing derails it like last year, because I felt like the Devils were in a nice little groove. And then obviously we all know what happened. They go into that quarantine, they lose a big chunk of games, and then the wheels kind of just fell off after that.
Listen, from the get-go last year, we should have all seen it when Corey Crawford retired before the season even started. That should have been like the omen over last
big red
season.
flag.
Like, guys, this one's gonna be tough. This is gonna be a tough one, guys. We're gonna really need to muscle through this season here. All right, I swear, better times are coming. We're really gonna have to muscle through right here. You know, I really feel like last year we hit that, and we're going upwards. We hit that bottom point, and now we're headed back upwards. And this year just looks so much more promising, stronger in goal, obviously, much stronger on defense. Not even talking about the Graves and the Hamilton, but think about, we talked about it, Damon Severson not playing with so much pressure. PK playing if he doesn't get traded, playing in a much more lower role where he can probably shine on a third pairing. Ty Smith was wowing us last year with those little dekes that he had on the blue line when he was working the point. The shot got through. I don't know, it was a ridiculous amount. The shots that he was taking probably had no business to get through, but they did. He just has that little touch to find that hole, to find that alley, to get the puck to the net. He's got a year under his belt, and now he's going to have a full training camp and practice.
And actually, he's got a mentor.
Already knows, and now he's got a mentor. We have much more reasons to be excited for this team this year.
Yes.
But we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves.
Because remember what happened last time. We start putting robes on people and marching around like we're like, hey, look at you, Rangers. What did you do? Oh, we got PK and we got Gusev. We got the better Russian. Oh, Panarin, we don't need him. Oh, my God. We all drank that Kool-Aid.
You know what?
We drank the Kool-Aid. Drank it.
He had a couple good games here and there, but obviously
a lot of high hope.
He's got a lot of talent, but sometimes that talent doesn't translate to NHL. I mean, you got to be able to.
You got to want.
You can have NHL talent, but can you keep up with the NHL pace?
Yeah,
that's the real question, because there's no pace faster in the world. Go down and sit, if you get a chance, try to go down and sit close to that game. I always love sitting up on the top and everything. You can really see stuff, but when you get down close, you see just how lightning fast these guys have to make.
Oh, when they hit the boards, man,
cuts. Oh man, it is just nuts.
Everything
up above. You can see all the plays just unfold. Get down below, and you see how fast it really is.
That's, and we've had this discussion before. If you have a friend out there and Devils fans, first of all, thank you for everybody watching on Facebook, everybody watching on Twitch, I know we should be talking to everybody right now. We should be interacting a little bit more. We see your comments. We see your comments. We see what you guys are saying. Sometimes we kind of get lost in our own conversation. So
hi, Michael.
We apologize about that. But
hi, other
anyways.
Michael. Two Michaels. Hey.
Yeah, hey everybody. But this is this season, like if everything starts to mellow out and we're, everybody's cool, man. Be cool, man. And you could bring a friend to a Devils game who has never been to a hockey game in person.
You got a joint, bro?
No. You got it. You cool. We got cooler if you did. Hey man, watch the leather. Anyways, we could be a great movie.
Man! I was making some Tommy Boy references last week when you weren't here, and Sam Wu was just looking at me with like a blank face. I'm like, Tom Callahan. He said,
I would have been all over that.
Oh, we have a new minor league coach, I think, or scout named Michael Dennehy, and I'm like, Brian Dennehy,
Brian Dennehy's brother. You could get a good look at a T-bone if you stick your head up a butcher's ass, but you might want to ask the cow. No, wait. No, it has to be your cow. No. Never mind. Got that?
Oh, man. Big
I'm
time.
like
Callahan.
JoJo, the idiot circus boy. Anyways, with a pretty new pen. I could recite that movie from front to back. Oh my god. One of my favorite parts of that movie is very underrated. Is Rob? First of all, Rob Lowe is hilarious, but
yes,
that kid that's making faces to him on the bus when he first gets off the bus, and he just goes wham and hits the window, and the kid's like, ah, that makes me laugh every time. But
the part that always gets me is the when they're in the gas station and he backs up, the door falls off, and he puts it back on, and David Spade opens it. He's like, "What did you do?"
Because everybody that's seen that movie, that loves that movie, has used that line in actual reference to something. Like you've broken something and you put it back. Yeah, of course.
You just wait for someone to come in, and then you're like, "Oh, what happened? Oh my god,
what did you do?" Yes.
What did you do?
Oh my god. Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, we're going off the rails. Anyone else got Tommy Boy quotes they want to talk about?
Oh my god.
David Decker.
What does he say? I'm just a little guy. I don't know how to fight. I forget what he said.
Oh yeah, I know. To it, Gabe.
Oh my lord. But
60 days, buddy.
Yeah, it's funny because this is that time of year where for me it goes really fast because I'm a teacher. So August, I work throughout July. By the way, anybody that's like, "Oh, teachers, you get off on the summers." Yeah, but I don't get paid because I'm not working. So but anyways,
why don't you go get a job then? Huh?
I do have a job. I do.
Why don't you go get a job then?
I do.
Why don't you go get a jab? It's a whole year, huh, brah?
Why don't you get a jab? Why don't you get a jab? But anyways, August always goes really, really fast. By the time September hits, I always feel like September's like
when you're off all month. Oh,
yes, exactly. And September, exactly. I get tired of sitting in the sun all day. It's hard. It's hard work. So September
hits
hits
on vacation. All right,
it's hard going down the beach and just laying on the beach and having a beer and being lazy. But September hits, and luckily we're both football fans and we're both Giant fans. So like we get sucked into
right now.
We get sucked into fantasy football world, and football really takes center stage. And then like Devils training camp is going on, and you get those the PTOs that come out, the PTOs, and you could see like the team starting to take shape. They have a couple of scrimmages and things like that, and they start amping up to October. October is one of my favorite months of the year because you have the beginning of hockey season. Mm-hmm. You have football really starting to get into swing. Mm-hmm. You got the cooler weather. You got the pumpkin beers. You get everything
that's hot out here. Okay.
Is it really? Is it like 1,000,000 degrees still out by you? Like, hey, what is it? October 31st, right? Trick or treat? No, I'm melting. It's like
actually,
150 degrees.
I know you guys are melting. So I've heard, but actually in LA, it's been insanely beautiful. It's only been 85 degrees. It's been fantastic. Everywhere else around us is like 115, but like around here, I don't know why. Good Lord. Yeah, we just got the breeze,
the smog
coming in from
the nice
ocean.
smog.
Yeah. It's there. Oh, it's there. If you don't, I didn't believe it until I moved out here, and then I saw it one day. Go on a hike. I'm like, oh, what's that? And like one of my LA friends are like, that's the smog, you idiot. I'm like, that layer is there, isn't it? Yeah. Okay,
that's a real thing. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, the beginning of the season is right around the corner, and you know what? I feel like you said before. I'm like so hopeful about this year, and we didn't even talk about like, do you think that Ray Shero makes another move? Because right now there's a weird.
I don't think Ray Shero makes any moves for the Devils.
He makes he makes a move. Shero. He makes a move from the couch to the kitchen and back to the couch. That's all he's doing. Tom Fitzgerald.
I think he got hired as a special assistant or something like that, or
of cursing people off. Yeah, he's good at
Columbus or something.
Yeah. Torts is not there anymore, so they need somebody to cuss people out. But so Tom Fitzgerald, sorry, Freudian slip. Tom Fitzgerald has done some masterful things with this team so far. Getting Dougie Hamilton, getting Tatar, I just think there's a lot of really nice pieces. But I feel like he keeps hinting towards the fact that he's not done. Now, the Tarasenko thing kind of scares me. And the more you look into it, the more you read into it, supposedly there are reports out there that the Devils are afraid of some of his medicals that have come back and this, that, and the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's some other players. I know a lot of people were big on Timo Meier. I just read a whole report about him and Evander Kane not being the best of influences.
Let's not go to the Evander Kane route. Yeah, no.
Oh, no. I'm not saying get Evander Kane. I was just reading this article that said it was Evander Kane and Timo Meier's not a good guy either. And it's like, we don't need anybody that's questionable on the team. So, who knows? There could be a possibility of Fitzgerald still making a move to get another top 6 winger in here. Although I feel like the price of that would be pretty hefty, and it might cost you a Mercer or a Holtz. And this is something that we've discussed multiple times. Do you give up on somebody before you even see them, or do you go out and get a proven commodity? I don't know if he's going to do anything else, but if he doesn't, I'd be pretty happy about where this team is as is. I don't know how you feel about it.
Well, they got to do something with the offensive side. I mean, the defense is set. But, I mean, just looking at your lines, from last year, we had Yanni Kuokkanen now signed as well to a nice 2-year deal, much like Igor Sharangovich. So let's just say we got Yanni, Jack, Igor. We got Zaka, Nico, Jesper Bratt. Then you got Wood, McLeod. I'm thinking probably
Janssen.
Jesper Boquist.
Janssen?
I was thinking Boquist with Wood and McLeod, but then you have Tatar and Janssen. You got to find a center for them. Do you bring in, a veteran center?
Ooh, I got a name for you.
Does it begin with a T and then have a Z on the last? The last name begin with a Z?
No, but I wouldn't mind bringing him back. Do you think he sits back and he goes, damn, dude, like they just made all these moves. Like maybe I should go back and like see what it's all about. Kyle Palmieri's still not signed, by the way.
No, I wouldn't be. I mean, like, I wouldn't be. Well, I mean, like, I have a feeling, Lou is trying to lock him up. We'll see what happens. But Zajac is someone I said last year. Hey, if he comes back, I mean, it would be a perfect fit there. Or move McLeod up, and then, do you have Zajac, Wood, and Boquist down there on the fourth line? Or do you put Travis in between Tatar and Janssen? I don't know. I don't know if you want to do that. Listen, I'm not suggesting one thing or another. We're just talking, and then, that's all. I'm not making any. I don't want anyone to flip out or anything like that. We're just talking here.
You guys don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're doing. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, listen, I got a name that I'm going to throw against the wall. I'm going to see if it sticks. Okay.
Jaromir Jagr.
Coming back at number.
Baby.
At 58. Actually, I just read a story about him, which is super depressing. Like, he's so miserable, and he doesn't want to play anymore. But basically, like, his dad owned the team that he plays for, the club team that he plays for. His dad owned it for like 20 years or something like that. And if he's basically the owners or like something like that, all the sponsors and everybody were like, if you're not playing, we're not sponsoring you. And if we don't sponsor you, your team will fold. So he's basically like handcuffed to this team. It's like super depressing. It's really bad. Poor Jagr. Yeah, right? So I would say somebody who's a veteran presence who loves hot dogs, who would be an interesting fit, who would be a center, a great center for the third line. You could probably get him on like a relatively decent but a deal from Arizona. Phil the Thrill Kessel.
Oh, boy. No.
Phil Kessel. Listen, Phil Kessel for like a sixth rounder. You wouldn't do it?
Man,
You
for
wouldn't
like
take
a six
flyer?
rounder. For a 6 rounder, yeah, I
No,
would
it
not
would cost way
trade-
more than that. It would cost more than that.
I would not trade any prospect in that sense for that
No.
right there. I would.
You
I
give him
would
like a
100%.
2024. Give him a 2024 third round pick. There you go.
I would.
You can recoup that pick by then.
Re-sign Travis Zajac for a year contract or 2 years contract if that's what he wants, and that'd be done with it. I would not. Yeah, no. Phil Kessel, I would say no. I'm gonna look up right now the old NHL free agents.
They're still available.
I see. Because I see Omar here is saying Dvorak, Ramon is saying no Palms or Zajac. Omar's telling me that Palms and Zajac already have an agreement with Lou. Just because they're not talking to anyone doesn't mean that they don't officially have an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
But they might.
Been down that road. We've been down that Lou Lamorello road.
Oh, yeah. I think Palms
how
and
that-
Parisi will end up there. Remember all those Islander fans when they thought they were going to get Landeskog?
You're dealing with Lou Lamorello. You're dealing with Lou. He ain't gonna come there. I was hoping we get Landeskog too because he would be a perfect fit for our team, but
he's a perfect fit for any team, really. But
yeah.
No, but I don't think he was. It's going to be tough to pry him out of Colorado. All right, where is this latest NHL free agents? Dun, 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 dun. Well, Dougie Hamilton. That's got to be an old list right here. It says Dougie Hamilton. No, thank you, sir. I believe he's already signed.
Yeah, rocking that Matt Tennyson number. That's the other thing. Did you guys talk about that?
Matt Tennyson signed somewhere else too.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, he's probably like, "Oh, they gave away my number. I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. That's it. I'm done.
I'm done with you guys.
Done.
You gave away my locker."
I don't know who you really want to bring in here. Anyone have any ideas? Up on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter? Hit us up. Who would you want to bring in there, like a veteran on a quick contract?
On a cheap.
Something a 1 year, 2 year.
Well, they still have $12 million to play with, too. Let's not kid ourselves. Like, they have the room. And that's the thing, too, is a lot of people were like, oh, my God, how could you give Hamilton that much, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, because you got PK Subban coming off the books next year or the year after. I think I don't know if this is his last year or he has got.
This is it. This is it.
So there goes $9 million off your cap. So that means there's the money for Dougie. And then you still got a boatload of money left. So,
So we got
I think there's one more move.
Throw some names out there.
One more move. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to throw some names out there for you. Is Casey Zizekas really still a free agent? Tyler Bozak, Travis Zajac, Dubinsky, David Backes, Anisimov, our old friend from the Rangers there. He played in Chicago, too, for a while. He's been all over. Eric Stahl, I mean...
Listen, that would be weird, but I would take Eric Stahl. If you're putting him on a third line where he doesn't have to do a ton, I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't know. It's Eric Stahl. Screw that dude. He killed us. He killed us. He did us so bad.
I thought Casey Zizekas. Is this thing not really? It says available. I could be wrong. Well, I mean, Tyler Bozak is 35. Travis Zajac is 38. Backes is 37. Anisimov is only 33.
We don't need anybody.
Bring someone in like that. Try to flip them at the seasons at the trade deadline anyway.
Is there a reason Dougie Hamilton went with number? Yeah, is there a reason why Hamilton was 7 and not 19? Conspiracy theory, or is it one of those? It's too soon. Why did Dougie Hamilton, who wore 19, not go with 19, which was an available number with the New Jersey Devils, and went with number 7?
Probably out of respect for the number. Maybe Fitzgerald didn't want to give it out too soon. We do know that used to make us very, very angry when we would see some of our favorite players all of a sudden.
What, you mean when
numbers.
Michael Ryder walked in wearing number 17 very, very shortly after?
Oh, Kovalchuk, yeah, but there have been a number of call-ups.
A number,
in those. Everyone has to be under the number 30. Cool, get it, the tradition.
Oh yeah, number 23 was thrown around after Gomez came around, and then Clarkey took 23 for a while, but
yeah,
nobody's ever had 18. Oh, Bergfors had 18.
Oh, a bunch of people had 18. Yeah. A bunch of people. It's not retired.
I know it's not retired.
Wasn't there? I can't remember.
Be.
There was someone.
Should be.
There was someone that had a number that I don't know if it was Elliot. I hope it wasn't. I can't remember. I thought there was someone.
No, Elias is number.
One of our legends, like after they retired, before they retired the number, I thought like somehow that number like got used on someone.
Maybe Niedermeyer.
I can't recall.
Because it definitely wasn't Elias, because once he retired, that was it. 26 was never used again.
There was other 27s after Niedermeyer.
Mike Mateau. Legendary defenseman. Motto.
Legendary is kind of a strong word right there. Right? Motto, wasn't he the guy that ran, what's his name, on LA and got the 5-minute major, the boarding major?
No, that was Bernier. Who wore number 18?
Oh, that was Steve Bernier. Yeah, he was 18 as well.
Who wore 18? He wore 18.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mike Motto was defense. That's right.
Mike Motto was number 27. It always felt weird. See, that was one. Like after Niedermeyer, you just don't hand out 27 to people. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised Lou didn't hand out, 15 got handed around like nobody's business. After Langenbrunner wore it, after Johnny Mack.
Mm-hmm.
There's people in between there too. And then it's one of those numbers that gets tossed around.
Yeah. I hope that if Travis doesn't come back, which I mean, honestly, it's kind of what they need. If he wants to come back and play one more year, like same thing. Hey, trade deadline. If you want to go, we'll trade you. If you want to, like if you give us a list of places you want to go, if we're not in contention, but also I really feel like the Devils are going to be playing better this year. But I still think they're going to be. Even though I think they will be playing much better, I think there's still going to be some sellers at the trade deadline to try and get like the PK and stuff like that. I think they're going to try and cut those contracts.
I think there'll be sellers in the sense of like the PK makes sense. There'll be sellers in the sense of like if they're close to making the playoffs, they're going to be sellers for like a PK for a younger piece, like a third line winger or something like that. So like you'll give up a defenseman because we could probably hopefully, not probably, we'll say hopefully, be able to plug in Riley Walsh into PK slot or somebody that could finally step into the NHL role into PK spot and then deal him away for a winger or something like that.
Hey, real quick, our good friend Ray says there's been no movement on the with the Palms. The Palmieri is assigned but not submitted to the league because Lou doesn't want anyone to know how much cap space he has.
I've heard that too. I've heard that too. It's like
those days, remember when like people get hurt and they just be like lower body.
Lower body. And you don't see him ever again.
The cap's got a lower body injury right now. That's all. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Who was the defenseman? Who was the defenseman that Lou had, and then he like totally circumvented the cap by basically being like, "Oh yeah, he's hurt forever. He's hurt. He's just hurt." Come on, who's that dude he signed? And then it was I want to
no Vladimir Malakoff.
Vladimir Malakoff. Thank you, Sam.
Never.
Sam, do you want to explain
never,
that? Do you want to explain that?
That was the
the
second
lesson-
time he was back. That was the return, right, of Malakoff?
That was the
I
return.
remember.
Second tour duty. My advice to you kids out there: never take a ski trip while you're injured.
While you're injured.
And that's,
did you notice that?
all,
Don't
folks.
get injured on a ski trip. It's just don't go when you're injured.
Just don't go when you're injured. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the days with Lou. That was one of my favorite moments. It's because we were all scared at the time. It's like, okay, $39 million was the cap. It's like, how is Lou going to fit Elias coming back? Remember when Elias was coming off of
The hepatitis.
Yeah, and then here comes January, and suddenly Malakoff goes on a family ski vacation. Oh, you're retired. Like that. Dan McGillis. Oh, you're going to we're going to banish you to the AHL. Enjoy the money that you're going to make.
Yeah.
Who was it? It was Dan McGillis and Richard Matvichuk, right? Remember Richard Matvichuk? Came over.
Yeah.
Matvichuk. Yeah, but the new NHL ruined Matvichuk, but it was the 3 M's. It was McGillney, McGillis, and Malakoff. And he buried all of them.
Buried him. I didn't. You put emphasis on that because that was Lou. That was prime Lou. That was prime Lou then.
Yeah, but
by the way, can I ask you a question? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but can you answer me this question? I was looking at something the other day, and I saw Thomas Cabrillo in a Devils sweater. Can you answer the question, when was Thomas Cabrillo a member of the New Jersey Devils? Anybody at home, you could probably Google it. I could probably Google it, but I'm not going to. So I want to see if anybody here can remember when Thomas Cabrillo, longtime Maple Leaf.
I'm going to go with a couple years ago. How about that?
I don't actually know because I was looking at something, like people put their
it was like 5 years ago or something like that.
He was like a training camp tryout or something like that. And I think he made the club for like a 5-second period. And then they were like, oh, that didn't work out. See ya. But I think that was under a Lou's regime too.
I don't know if it was Lou or Ray. Was that beginning of Ray?
I got to look it up. Damn it. Now I got to look it up.
Remember when Cam Jansen hit Thomas Cabrillo in that one game?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
I remember when we had Cam on and I was kind of goofing around and I'm like, yeah, I thought that was a good hit. And he's like, what are you talking about? That was
I loved Cam, but you could see like when he would get too intense and too in the moment and he wasn't thinking like, hockey smarts way. He was just like, I'm going to nail this guy. You could just see it in his face. He was going to deliver that body check no matter what, like I loved Cam.
This is a Lou move. So the Devils have released Ruslan Fedotenko and Thomas Cabrillo from their tryouts. The team announced Tuesday. This is back in 2014. So September 2014. So they came in, they made the team very briefly, and then they were gone.
Bye-bye.
Thomas Cabrillo.
But I still like the story.
Legend.
I still like the story about getting your judge friend from Bergen County to issue a restraining order for the have another donut incident. I think that's probably that was Lou early on. You know that story?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you had the replacement refs come in out of nowhere because they start like, who does that? Who gets a judge to get a restraining order just so your coach can still coach the game?
That's vintage Lou.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly,
it's very
I
New
feel
Jersey.
like, Very New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly feel though 60 days away, we have a lot of hope. We have a lot of I don't want to say optimism for this team. I want to just say that because optimism is like, yeah, everything's great. Holy cow, look at the sky, it's blue. I want to say we have like this tempered optimism. Like we're very like we've been scorned. We've been scorned. Yeah, so we're gonna be Michael scorned. We're gonna sit back and we're gonna say, all right. Because you know what's gonna happen is like that first game against the Blackhawks, if the Devils go up like 2-0 or 3-0, every fan in the building is gonna sit back like this, like
here we go again. Here we go. We're gonna blow it.
We've been here before.
5-1. Yeah. No, we'll be fine. We're gonna be fine this year. We're gonna be a lot better. Training camp, having the preseason, having this team together, having that quality goaltending. I mean, listen, we all know the Red Wings were beyond terrible.
Hot garbage. Hot garbage. We were bad. We were bad. They were worse.
Terrible is probably too good a word to describe. They were just
terrible. But their pieces, atrocious. The pieces they have, oh my god, they're going to be so nasty in the next couple years.
But our defense has improved. You know, Bernier was one of the highlights of the Red Wings last year. You know, on that awful team. You know, like it's just he's going to do better this year. With Mackenzie Blackwood actually being able to split the load like that, actually having the defense with Dougie and Ryan Graves and Damon Severson and Ty Smith and all the others to come, Siegenthaler, PK, when Kevin Ball comes up, when Riley Walsh comes up, and all the rest, you know, he's going to have a real defense in front of him. This team is starting to be built on that back end where Sam Wu talked about it endlessly. The no fun zone. Teams used to just prance right in front of our goaltenders and just do whatever they wanted. And this year, it's not going to be that way. It's not going to be that way. The Devils are a much bigger team right now.
Yeah,
you're going to pay a price if you go in front of our goal. You know, that's how it's going to be now. You're going to pay a price.
And that's one of the funny things, too, is there's a lot of chatter. You know, the Rangers have been making some very interesting moves across the river. The Flyers have been getting tougher and meaner. Doesn't mean they're getting better. No. The Rangers, same thing. Doesn't mean they're getting better.
By Tom Wilson. That's what it is. That's all it is. Nobody wants to get ragdolled by Tom Wilson. That's exactly. Especially on the Rangers. The Ryan Reeves thing that's exactly what that is.
And 100%. The whole meme of Tom Wilson owns the New York Rangers, I think is 100% true. If you don't believe it, then look at every move they made this past season, and it just points directly to the fact that whole incident. Insane.
Capitals Rangers games this year are going to be
intense,
especially the first one. They're going to be intense. It's going to be like. It's gonna be like the old like Avalanche Red Wings games, man. They are gonna go.
No, that's hard to beat. Those games were great.
Yeah, I know.
Those games are great.
Of course. Yeah, it won't be that brutal, but it will be like it's just gonna be fight fest like that. Especially that first game. The Rangers are gonna come out.
Tom Wilson's going to be a healthy scratch at first game. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. He's going to be because that would be the best move. That would be the best move to do to like really stick it to the Rangers. Be like,
and he sits in like the press box in like a Ric Flair robe with like a championship belt. You know, just like wooing the entire time, like
trolling the Rangers the entire time, and then the Rangers get dropped 8-1. And Ovechkin goes off for like a 6-pack. But the thing that a lot of people are saying is like, well, look at what those teams are doing, and then you look at what the Devils are doing, and the Devils are trying to get smaller and faster and this and that. But the back end of this team, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. If you look at the back end of this team, so if you got somebody messing with Jack Hughes, now you have a defensive core that has like, a 6'6" guy and a 6'5" dude and this guy and that guy. You got, a bunch of muscle on the back end. So a lot of people that are afraid that we're going to get pushed around by these heavier teams, especially, Washington's a big, heavy team. Now the Rangers are a big, heavy team. The Flyers are a big, heavy team. So you have all these big, heavy teams, which traditionally destroy the Devils because the Devils have been very light and very small up front. I feel like now that the tables are turning, and I feel like Fitzgerald is really starting to get the secret sauce to what's going to make this team a competitor. Fast and light up front, big and heavy on the back end, and you have a lot of power in front of your goaltender, a lot of shot block, and a lot of big dudes moving people around. It's a lot of humanity to move around back there. So I'm feeling confident.
Well,
feeling good.
Let me throw this at you as well, because we do have a couple open spots here on the old lineup. Instead of signing someone like Travis Zajac, how about you move McLeod up to the third line? You put Boquist in the middle of Wood and, let's say 6'5" Nolan Foote. How about that?
See, I think you bring Foote up and let Foote play, take that Bastion line. So you let Foote take the Bastion spot. So then you have Mikey McLeod, Miles Wood, and Foote playing on one line. Because that line last year, like everybody was like, "Oh, why would you get so mad that Bastion got taken by the Kraken?"
And then put Boquist in between Tatar and Janssen.
Exactly, and I don't think that's a bad move either because Boquist could end up being a great playmaker. But if you look at what was developing with that line with Wood, the BMW line last year. And I'm not just saying it because it's my boy, Mike McLeod, autograph puck inside. I'm not just saying that. That line was at points our best line, hands down, not even close. The most competitive line that we had on this team. And one of the things that when we lost Bastion, I was bummed out because it's like, man, to let that line develop. And that's what people forget. Like if you have chemistry within your lines, if you have that consistency, those are the things that start to breed winning. Those are the things that you can rely on because then you get the guys out there and they can rely on each other. And guess what? You get into a crunch situation and you're like, well, McLeod can win the face-off, and we know we have some tough dudes out in the ice. We know we have, Wood who could stretch the ice, and you had Bastion who was banging people in the corners. That was one of those lines that was like, okay, this line is becoming a very reliable line to put out there. So I feel like if you put Foote onto that line, he adds a little bit scoring touch, maybe a little bit more than Bastion had, and maybe has a little bit more promise. That doesn't necessarily have to be your fourth line. Hell, that could be your third and your fourth lines could be interchangeable. And that's what you really want to have. You want to have four lines that you can roll out throughout the game and not worry about having a lull. You don't want to have a fourth line there, like, put them out there for 5 seconds, get them off the ice, get them off, because now they're going to have their top line out there.
All right.
Okay, I'm done.
And I think that's a good point for us to leave off on, and we can start talking about some of these line combinations. Maybe next week when we come back, some of these guys who, we can debate. You think they're going to make a big impact on the team? A Nolan Foote, a Jesper Boquist, will a Riley Walsh, will a Kevin Ball. We can go through some of these guys and love to hear what everyone thinks as well on YouTube Live and Facebook Live and Twitter and everything like that. But I think that's a perfect thing where we can maybe talk about it next week when we're 53 days away from opening night. Hey, Samu, I hear the music. So it's got to be final thoughts time. Beer Baron, since you're in the big window, why don't you go first?
I'm in the captain's chair. My final thought is I'm genuinely excited about the direction of this team. There's a lot of really good pieces. There's a lot of really young pieces. I would not be shocked to see if Fitzgerald made one more splashy move before the end of the year, or before the year starts, rather. But don't be shocked if it's not a trade, or if it's not a pickup via free agency, or if it's a camp invite, because there's a few guys out there that could and should deserve a camp invite. That would be a perfect fit for this team. By the way, that's also a cheaper way to get somebody. So I feel like there's another move down the pipeline. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know when it's going to be, but I feel like there's going to be one more move to solidify this team to making that step forward.
See, this is like the Academy Awards. They cut him off.
I know.
Like the music.
I know. Give me the red light.
Samu was just like, "You're done. You're done, kid.
Give me the
Get off the screen. Get off the screen." Ah, they're like pulling you away and stuff like that. Yeah, it sounds good. What Beer Baron just said. That's my final thought. What he just said.
Cool.
The Devils need to pad the wins in October. You got 6 out of 7 games at the Rock at home against the Capitals, Blackhawks, amongst others. That's going to be important because in April, they've got that 6-game road trip.
7 games.
7? Is it 7?
From Ottawa. It starts in Ottawa, yeah.
I think it's 6, but, we'll let the teacher count it.
Yeah.
I am an art teacher. Let's not forget.
They got a big road trip in the middle of April when the playoffs are in, right around the corner. That's all I have to say. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. You can listen to the podcast on your commute, wherever you find our podcast, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. And thank you for making us the 41st ranked hockey podcast of all.
I thought we were number
podcasts.
17. Thought we were number 17.
That's all time. That's all time.
Yeah, bro.
Kovalchuk haunts us again. How are we number 17? Friggin' Kovalchuk every time. Every time.
I didn't get it. Till next time, let's go Devils.